Is it out of space to say we'll take us another look either to privatize transmission?
Thank you very much, Modu. Yes, your suggestion has actually been made by several people. There are some people who are even talking about regional grid and regionalization of the grid and so forth. But as I told you, anywhere, any country where the public sector is not working efficiently, even the private sector will not work efficiently. If you look at the power sector, I mean, it's not only transmission that is failing. Even the one that is under the private sector, distribution, what investment has come into the distribution network? In fact, since the network was handed over to the private sector, no distribution company has built injection substation. So we are just connecting at 330, 415, direct connection, which make the grid unstable. So when you say the grid collapse, it's not only the function of transmission, it's a function of all the other parties that are connected to the grid. Because when you say the grid, is actually the transmission, distribution, and generation. Because whatever happens inside the generation company, inside generation, can also collapse the grid. If you don't know, it's not only transmission. So what I'm saying is that even in PPP, you look at the risk, and look at who is better party to take the risk. As of today, the better party to take the risk of transmission is government. If you give it to private sector now, for example, it will be very difficult for the private sector to get right of way. Even government is finding it difficult to get right of way, talk less of private sector. So once Nigerians know that this transmission line is owned by a private sector, the cost of right of way is going to be very massive and it will be very difficult to implement. Yet, government can actually work with private sector to expand transmission network, still under government, like it happened in other places. For example, when I was MD, we actually earmarked certain area that we are going to do PPP. And that is from Omotosho to Benin. We discovered that the significant generation that are taking place around Benin, the current corridor that we have, including the new one that is under construction, I'm talking of Benin North to Oshobo, is not enough to carry the mantle of power to the point of consumption, which we believe Lagos. So we came up with a plan to do a PPP between Omotosho and Benin North, because we cannot go inside Benin City because it's already built up place. So the intention was that we are going to clear the right of way, because if you allow private sector to do the right of way, they can't do it. We're going to clear the right of way. And then we are going to look at incentive that we're going to put to make a private sector agree to build the line and recover its money in 10 years. You meet them, you can recover the money from the transmission charge. So you tell us, so this is the kind of model that can work. But if you say you're going to sell transmission, it's not going to work. Because once we give it to private sector, they will not get right of way. As MD transmission, I remember there are several distribution companies, they couldn't get right of way. I have to go and get the right of way for them. I mean, get where they can build the injection substation and distribution line. But you know, transmission, for 330, you need to have 25 meters this way, 25 meters this way. It will be very, very difficult.